everybody, Abogado Ray here. In this video, we're going to go over what to do if you're arrested in a Trump immigration raid at your workforce. También tenemos un video en español en la misma tema. Hoy ese video es en puro inglés. But what we're going to be talking about today is how to save someone from being deported if they're arrested during an ICE immigration raid. Who am I? Why do I have any ability to speak about this topic? Ray Barbal, I'm an attorney in Phoenix, Arizona. I have represented people and done jury trial when someone's been arrested at a worksite raid under the Arpaio context and gotten that guilty verdict. That's resulted in my client eventually becoming a permanent resident. Our office also represented people in Mississippi during the ICE raids there and got people out on bond, and they're still here in the country with their family. So the things that I'm going to tell you today is based on my experience as a criminal immigration, federal criminal defense attorney, and cases that we've actually won. And what I will tell you today is how we were able to win those cases, despite it looking like the worst situation in someone's life, and how we were able to win it while the person arrested next to my client wasn't able to win it and got deported. Okay, so very, very important information here. I'm not doing it to my horn and tell me how great I am. No, I want you to have this information. And yes, we're doing this in Spanish too. But I want you to have this information so that you can help educate your friend, your family, your parent, whoever it is, or yourself, if they show up ICE at the immigration raids, because we know they're going to start doing it. We have every evidence to believe, every reason to believe Trump is going to start doing worksite enforcement raids. Here's what you need to know. Number one, you have the right to remain silent. And you think to me, oh, I knew that one. You knew that one, but you got to exercise that one. You got to internalize that one. You got to put that one deep down in your soul so you believe it, you feel it, and you know you're doing the right thing, and you have to practice it. Reminder to folks, where does that right to remain silent come from? It comes from the Constitution of the United States. The folks that came over here across on a boat to start over a new country were coming from a place that was very oppressive, that the government was bad, they were overreaching, they were too aggressive, they didn't respect people's rights. So the folks here said, let's write into the Constitution that people have the right to remain silent, right? The number one way I can win someone's immigration case and criminal case if they're arrested in a worksite raid is if they remain silent. Because if the opposite happens, and I said that the person next to them was deported, if the person says, let me tell you what happened. My mom has cancer. My kid is in dialysis and he needs treatment, so I have to work. That's why I gave the fake documents. This is not the Catholic Church going to say, we forgive you. Please go home. You are a great person. I admire you. They should say that, but instead they say, thank you for your confession. We now have all the evidence we need to prosecute you, and we will give you a charge that will result in you being inadmissible and removable from this country, and you will never be able to come back. And the person that says, I exercise my right to remain silent, I want to speak with an attorney, leaves open the possibility of us winning the case. I'm not saying it's always going to happen. I'm not saying, oh yeah, we'll win, if they remain silent. It gives us that opportunity that doesn't exist if someone gives a full-on confession, right? The government is there at the worksite place to gather evidence to assist in the prosecution of those they're arresting. The number one piece of evidence they get is after they tell you, you have the right to remain silent. You have the right to speak to an attorney. Would you still like to speak with me? And the person says, yes, because if I'm nice to you, then maybe you'll let me go home. That person is doing nothing but an injustice to themselves, to their family, to their community, to the Constitution and the founding fathers of the United States of America by giving a confession and not saying I exercise my right to remain silent and I want to ask for an attorney. The charges that they will bring in these cases are charges at the end of the day. If you plead guilty or are found guilty by a jury, you will be inadmissible, removable from the country, and unable to come back. The best way to stop that from happening is to exercise your right to remain silent and ask for an attorney. Why does it seem like I'm saying the same thing over and over again? Because I am. And I'm going to continue to say it. If you call me on the phone, I'm going to say the same thing again. This is the number one information our community needs to know, because we think we cooperate, we're nice, we're good Christian people, then we'll be okay. And that's generally the case in life, but I'm not giving you life advice here. I'm giving you legal advice. I said that. Trey's not supposed to say on video, I don't give legal. This is legal advice, people. Am I your attorney? No, I've probably never met you. You probably never met me. But my legal advice is, if you are arrested in an ICE immigration raid, is to remain silent and ask for an attorney, and practice it with your family members, because it's scary. Saying it when you're watching on TikTok, you're watching on Facebook, oh yeah, I'll say that. It's not the same as being in the environment with people with guns around you, with bright lights on you, feeling intimidated, feeling yelled at, being humiliated. Because to stand up for your rights against government officials who are jerks and assholes, I said it, you have to be very strong. You have to have a moral fortitude of complete steel to stand up in that situation. And you can help someone by practicing with them when they're asked about whether or not they wish to remain silent and talk to an attorney, how they should answer that. And repeatedly practicing. You don't want to scare people into not wanting to go to work, not wanting to live their life, kids, being afraid of school. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, let's get ready. Let's be ready. We don't know what's going to happen. I'm saying Chicago, LA, oh my God, we don't know. Who knows where it happens? But regardless of where it happens, we never thought they were going to go to Forest, Mississippi, and that was going to happen there, and it happened. Let's be prepared. Let's be ready. Remain silent and ask for an attorney. Those are the two main pieces of information that our community must know if a worksite raid is to happen. Now, other stuff that's good to have, right? If you have a power of attorney for your kids so that someone can pick them up from school, take them to the hospital. If both of you are working and you're arrested, what we did see during Mississippi ICE raids, if there was, husband, wife, both arrested, they would let one of them come home, take care of the kids. I mean, it's always going to happen. But it is good to have those power of attorneys with people that you trust so they can assist with the children if both parents, if they get in a car accident, something horrible happens other than just the worksite raid, those are always good to have. But it really goes back to those fundamentals, like, hey, if we want to win the case, remain silent, don't answer anything, ask to speak to an attorney. It's the government job to prove beyond a reasonable doubt people are guilty. It is not our community's job whatsoever to give them the evidence that they can use to prove the guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. Number one piece of evidence is admission, is confession. So let's stop that from happening, exercise your right to remain silent, and ask for an attorney. In that case that I was able to win at the jury trial, it was because of that, because there was no statement from my client. If he had said, yes, this is true, I gave these documents, I'm so sorry, there wouldn't be, couldn't even go on to trial. What am I going to say? Like, it's over and done for. So we must hold the government to their burden of proof beyond a reasonable doubt, remain silent, ask for an attorney, and that's the end of the story for the worksite raid. What workers need to know when ICE shows up. No more details we need to get into, right? How to answer any other question, because there shouldn't be. There shouldn't be any other question that gets answered. Attorney, right to remain silent. End of story. Thanks so much, folks. Have a great day.